Anything you can think of?
No. Perfect.
Cool. You kept using the phrase, which I like a lot, called "Wouldn't it be funny?" And
Wouldn't it be funny?
Would you mind if I use it as a title?
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
It's like the absurdism theme. Something I did like when I was just kind of like checking you guys out online before.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get that, but it's obviously like it's huge. It's a huge part
totally.
of what you've got going on and what John's got going on.
Yeah, and I mean, you have to be willing to look at it in that lens. I mean, in a mall. I mean, like, if I'm not willing to look at it, like, that it's weird, I'm like, I need to be able to do that. Like,
I'm just thinking, like, your average, like, shopper, going in for a new pair of jeans, like...
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
they should also...
They were very adventurous together. I mean, we were doing the adventure together. Like, I remember this one show, I mean, like, I like sort of sociologically themed shows, like, so we did this one show called White Pride, ? And I was really looking at other emotions that are connected to whiteness or racial privilege. And so I was just asking for other words, and so this one guy, there was this one piece by Jodi Cavalier, and it was this mop bucket that was upside down, and it with a mop kind of dangling above it by about this much space. And then there was written on it the impossibility of trying to wash a window in the hot desert sun. And then there's this piece on the wall that said action on it. And this fellow looked at it as he was going to GameStop. And there's a lot of mansplaining that happens, especially on the way to GameStop, because it's always a guy trying to inform his girlfriend or whoever it might be. And so he looks into the space. Only this much of his arm is in the space. So he like looks in like that and looks over to her and is like, that is not art. And then he puts his hand back and then he walks away. But it was so amazing because like in most sort of contemporary art spaces, he would not feel that comfortable just to be able to use what he saw. I'm like, you know what? That is not art. That is not it. Nope, that isn't. That might be it. That is not it. And that was really cool, being able to watch people.
Yeah, that's true, because they're maybe in an environment where they feel okay saying that.
Yeah, we're in their house, the House of Desire. So the House of Desire is really important because, I mean, they know about aesthetic. They can tell the difference between, this is a fall color, that's the winter color, whatever it might be.
House of Desire,
House of Desire, that's what I always call them all.
Okay.
Because it's kind of like our desires are being kind of marketed and kind of like fed to us back. And we kind of do it willfully. I mean, like we go for, I always get the same little V-neck shirt because it's like, that's my little V-neck. Or whatever it might be, shoes or whatever. But it's interesting for for folks to be able to come in to a space like for contemporary art, like Place, when they weren't really planning on using sort of aesthetic discernment, but they've already been doing it all along. So when they go into J. Crew, they're doing it. When they go to H&M, they're doing it. When they're at Forever 21 or any of the shops, they're already deciphering between aesthetics. And so it's really cool to be able to get something just a little richer than sort of a consumer-based shop, to be able to have that interaction.
Yeah.
Like, okay, these are also the possibilities when we're discussing things that are aesthetic or conceptually concerning.
Kind of combining modes. When you're talking about aesthetics, when you're shopping, I feel like most people would probably make a distinction between kind of consumer mode and then art mode. This means something because it is on a wall, it's on a pedestal, so it must be something more, as opposed to this shirt when it's in the store next door, also on a very similar pedestal, means nothing, it's just a shirt.
Yeah.
To kind of like bring that mode over to sort of art mode and kind of combine those two modes.
Yeah, I think that there's so much, especially for conceptually what's happening in the mall. I mean, you have all of the identities being shown, or the lack of identities being shown, which is also really important. You have sort of violence happening inside the mall, whether it's through GameStop or like the cinema. You have sort of labor disputes happening because of the context of how these products are made. I mean, it's really a really ripe spot. I couldn't really ask for a riper spot.
Yeah.